So here we are, Friday, January 6th. Just still working on what we're doing as C4C as a community and working through the challenges of being decentralized versus top down. So sorry, go ahead, Nori.
Yeah, no, before that, hello,
Caleb.
I see also that we have a new gentleman or lady. I don't know if you know him, Biro. Hello, nice having you here. If you want to say something or introduce yourself, that you're welcome to do it. It's kind of it's a kind of working group meeting for preparing for next year. So welcome to be here.
Caleb,
yeah, I mean,
hang on a sec, Yoram. Go ahead, Caleb.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. I'm Khalid, and I've just joined the group. I'm from the Cardano from Ethiopia group. I got introduced by Nabiu, Mr. Nabiu, if you know him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're from which group? Cardano for what, sorry?
Ethiopia.
Cardano Ethiopia. Okay,
yeah.
Great having you here.
And
welcome
we have Iwa. I know.
No, Seliwi. Seliwi, did I say it correctly, Seliwi? No.
Say your name again.
Hello, everyone. Good.
I'm going to get you to say your name, and then I'm going to go on over and over and over again. Bad internet. Is it just me?
No.
Yeah, no, the internet is low.
Okay, sketchy. And Keith, right in the middle of my screen. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, sneaking in here, in and out because of the day job. So.
In and out because of the day job?
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm taking an early break.
Anywhere.
I'm
currently in South Africa, but
okay. Sorry, we have internet problems. Cannot hear you very well. Welcome, Juanita.
Hi, everyone.
Hola, Juanita.
Hi, hola, Yoram.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I'm
All right. Okay, so back to Yoram. Let's.
Yeah, so just to put the discussion into kind of, let's start channeling it into this, and everyone can contribute and say, you know, the idea is to start putting together as a community what we want to see in 2023. And I can share with you the link that we started to work on. I don't find it here. 1 second. I saw it before the call. And Melanie, if you have it in hand, so that will be great. Otherwise.
Do you want to share it on the screen, or is it?
No, I'm just going to share the link here.
Okay.
I think everyone have access to that, or? A lot of people have access, and if anyone wants access to write there, you can ask us and to write. But
okay, I don't see it in the chat yet.
Yeah,
oh,
so
there we
I
go.
added it in the chat. I mean, it's just a start of discussion, but I can tell you what's on my mind, and then happy to hear what everyone and kind. The idea is to kind of start putting a plan and kind of agree on a plan. So the way I see it, and I agree with Nori a lot, how can we focus on what we did great last year and continue that? That probably will be the first. And it was kind of, we were very good in onboarding, very good in connecting. And so I definitely think we need to keep next year a weekly community meeting, but I would love to see this meeting happening with kind of 1 hour meeting where we have 15-minute intro, kind of just catch up with everyone, then 30 minutes, 1 or 2 presentation of actual projects, and then kind of 15 minutes closing. And to have that kind of this format on a weekly meeting, a little bit like
Playground.
like sorry?
Playground. Kind of like that.
Playground, exactly. But focus on impact, and we need to define impact or climate change and all of that as well. But that's really something that I think will be great to have, and kind of inspirational meeting, interesting topics, very concrete value for everyone. So that's one. The second thing that I would really think that can be amazing to have, and it's good that Sebastian is here and everyone is here, is that we have a monthly impact community meetings. So all the impact different groups, right, of education, CNC, everyone that consider himself impact and wants to join this meeting can join. And the idea is to give a monthly update. So we kind of do each group give a few minutes update about what they are doing, how they are doing, and kind of just reconnect all of us together on a monthly basis, right? And we invite IOG for that, Emurgo, we invite Cardano Foundation and different impact communities in the ecosystem. And then everyone can come and listen. So that will give an overview, a monthly overview for everyone that wants to come to kind of listen in what's going on in impact in the last months. So that's the two key things that I really would love kind of to continue, which I think will help to bring value and keep going. And I will add to that I see in 2023 a lot the role of Cardano for Climate as two things, as connecting, as bringing on board kind of the network of people, okay, and the network of projects. So every project presenting or everyone that wants to join kind of the network of projects join there, but we need to define, you know, the database of that related to impact, which is something that Melanie and myself also discussed. So how we define impact, how we show that they are doing impact and all of that. But I see us as the center of this database and people. So everyone that needs something related to impact that happen in the ecosystem come there. Or if they want to meet impact-related people that are working on impact stuff, come there. And that's kind of two core assets, if you want, that we are building.
So just bringing
and then
that
we can
up
connect channel and so on.
Yeah, bringing that up again, you know, because you said that the other day. You know, we all define impact differently. We all have this heartfelt need to do something, and as long as that's defined at the beginning of the project, you know, or the beginning of some sort of introduction, it's like, this is how I define impact, and this is what I'm focusing on, and this is also how I hope to measure my impact. Those two are, then it's self-defining, and it's not this top down that says, okay, you can only do this or this, and it leaves. So go ahead.
Exactly that, Melanie. So what we discussed last time, because we did with Raz and Cole, we did kind of analysis of 5 impact frameworks, like the SDGs and impact framework, and there is the information. And it's all top down, right? It's very complex. Still now, if you ask me to understand the SDGs, it's still very complex and sub, and how we connect it really to the ground, right? It's kind of big projects. So what we discussed with Melanie does exactly that. Each project can define a very concrete impact, right, that is doing. I want to increase education with the women in Afghanistan, okay? So, and that's measurable, right? And you measure that on a monthly basis and you report on that. So it doesn't have to be 50 types of impacts. Very concrete, simple impacts you are trying to achieve, or the key impact you are trying to achieve, right? Empower, we want to give people housing, you know, so, okay, how many people you give them housing, you know, over the time. So that's kind of the idea, how each one define and measure impact. Yeah, sorry, just repeating what you correctly said.
No, it's very, very important, because, you know, this is the challenge for us, is how do we become decentralized, ground up, and not spend all this time creating the rules and the boundaries. So I like this. Any other thoughts on that?
So happy to hear more thoughts. I mean, for everyone, if it's a good direction, if there's other key things you think that we would like to do.
I like the idea of keeping the Wednesday meetings, and I like the idea of changing it to more playground format, where we just have a place where people can sign up and it's first come, first serve, and we know who's coming which week, and we can plan for it. That's great. It'll take a lot of pressure off the core team to plan that meeting. And what we're going to do every week is really community content generated and driven. We may have some skilled facilitators to help like kick it off and introduce it and record it and do the admin stuff, but the content will be created by the community. I like the idea of a monthly sync with impact projects. And the one thing I would add to that is now that we're entering into the Voltaire era, that will be a great opportunity to also just sync on any kind of governance issues to say, as a group of impact initiatives and organizations, what do we want to take back to either the Catalyst Circle or to bring up to IOG or the Cardano Foundation as like blockchain needs this to really support impact projects or that kind of stuff. We should have those discussions and really start to build that into a mechanism where we bring everybody's ideas together and kind of collaborate on things and bring it forward. I think that would be a great opportunity. Although I do love the idea of doing updates so that we keep it in sync with what everyone's doing and what's going on. But I think that could be a powerful add-on to that, is not just the updates, but we can start discussing some governance topics as a group and really bring all that together and have a voice. Because I think we've all been working in silos a bit, and we are connecting, and there's so many people. I see familiar faces here that are in other groups that I attend. And so there is that cross-pollination, but we don't ever have the opportunity to really discuss the overarching governance topics, and especially from an impact perspective. So I think that's an opportunity for that meeting. So I like that. And on top of that, I would say we probably want to do events as well. That was a really good thing that we did. Maybe monthly is a little bit stressful because we're always on the pressure of the once a month event, but maybe we do a quarterly event or something.
Even if
like
it's scheduled, if you have it already lined up, these are the topics that you want to cover, that takes off the stress. And then it's just a matter of contacting speakers, and then we could actually plan out the whole year and just say, this is the topic we're going to do, these, and then it makes it a lot easier. It's when we leave it till 2 weeks before the event. It's like, well, what's the topic? Who should we invite? That's where it becomes stressful. But if we have a long-term yearly plan that this is tentatively what we're doing, then that takes off the pressure a lot.
Or even making it a little more freeform and saying, oh, look, here's a bunch of emergent topics and people that are coming together. Maybe we should have an event around that. And rather than just having one person present per week, we're going to have 6, and we're going to package it up because it's all aligned. And then that can be organized organically or emergently rather than planned too. So we have good procedures on how to run events, how to contact, and like we're creating all of these best practices. Maybe, we could employ those when needed, but I know a lot of people were stressed around the events and it was a lot of work, and trying to think of ways to make it less stressful and not feel the pressure of having to do one constantly every month, I think might be helpful. But I started a mural board here. I'm starting to take some notes. I think it's important to write some stuff down as well.
Thank you.
But Sebastian, go ahead.
Yes, thanks, Ari. I feel the meetings like the playground, Gimbalabs playground, are really good. Providing a space to the projects to expose the structure of the projects itself. But I feel that those meetings have a lack of final decisions around how provide concrete support to those projects, because of the projects that look for these spaces are looking for some support, some technical support, some organizational support, some kind of support. So I feel that those I'm from Gimbalabs, and I participate in many playgrounds, Gimbalabs playgrounds, and that kind of meetings. That I feel at that space is really good, providing the space to expose the structure. But at the end, it's difficult to form concrete steps or next actions to those projects. And I feel that if we integrate the space and space like the Gimbalabs playground with those monthly meetings in which we can communicate between us what are the activity of what is the activity for this month. We can bring more consistency to the function of provide support to the projects in general. I that's my need in this.
All right, you cut out a little bit. I just
Yes,
want to.
it's okay. A meeting like the playground. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. My idea is okay. It's a great thing. It's a great thing. And a space like the playground, but we have it would be really good integrate some kind of next step, next concrete actions to the future.
Mm-hmm. So just to summarize what I heard, playground format's great. It brings people together, shares knowledge, all that, but it's lacking kind of that what's next, what comes after that. But if we run a monthly meeting with all the impact groups, that might be a good space to discuss like what's the next steps in collaboration, how can we move this forward, things like that.
Yeah, because it's really common that you don't hear anything about the projects after the meetings. Mm-hmm. After they simply expose their topic and their project, and that's all. That's it. A final point.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking about the meetups because it's a place where new people come. You know, there's people that come off of meetup. You know, we get a couple almost every week. There's somebody brand new. Some people are in this process of Project Catalyst. Where are we? You know, in the past, we've done this. We've tried to kind of place ourselves in this schedule as well, because we are part of this system, the funding rounds. Is that still something we're going to do? Somebody to update the community on where we are.
Yeah,
that
first
takes
of all,
a chunk of time.
Yeah, no, first of all, I love the just to come up Sebastian feedback. I think it was excellent. And I think definitely we need to think when someone presenting is what they need and kind of get it maybe before. So we'll try at least to bring the people we know, and the end of the meeting will be to say, okay, how can we connect them to the relevant people they need to be connected? I think it's very, very important point. So that's one. Regarding to Melanie, yeah, I think the question is how long we want the meeting. Like if we want it, let's say for 1 hour and a half or 1 hour. We can always make 1 hour kind of the meeting, like the key meeting, like with initial intros and updates, and then keep another half an hour in the end. That will be for the process of connect new people. Right, so not everyone have to stay. Whoever wants to stay and connect new people can stay, and then we can direct new people and guide them. That might be an option for that, if that makes sense. Or give news, or answer questions, or whatever it is. That makes sense?
Yes, for example, because when we can take these the recordings of those meetings, of the specific projects, as a supporting material to other organizations that can provide the support to the projects. For example, we in Emurgo, for example, we are talking about this year we can support the projects a company level. Okay, we will continue to support students, but we want to support in a special way the projects that are accompanying this moment, or entrepreneurships or entrepreneurs or that kind of people that have projects currently they have projects and have funding from the outside world and have a whole infrastructure. And Emurgo, we are trying to support this year this kind of projects. So that's the same case with the projects that can present the material in C4C, for example. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, so for me, the last 30 minutes of that can be used dedicated for that. And yeah, and then we can see if more help is needed. I mean, then let's discuss. But yeah.
Juanita brought up the point of using our social media, which is the other thing that we have and that we do. The other tool that we have is our Telegram, Discord, Twitter. This is something that needs somebody entirely by themselves, you know, working on that, or a team working on marketing, so to speak. And
I think it's very, very necessary potentially our social media, but it's very important for meet the community C4C, but more people ingress on our meetings. It's very, very important for me.
Yeah, I think that's again, very, very important point. Muchas gracias. Muy importante punto. And it comes together with basically that can be the third focus area, which is basically the website and the social media. So how that's a big project actually, but I mean the social media and the website, right? And that's
part of onboarding, isn't it? Right?
Yeah, and it's part of onboarding also. Onboarding and sharing information.
Yeah.
Right. So website and social media are kind of the key point. Anything other? So we mentioned 3 key points now that we want to do, right? Kind of 2 weekly meetings, which include projects, but try to make them concrete and support for the community. A monthly meeting connecting all the impact communities and Emurgo and CF and IOG together.
Let's make that maybe bi-monthly. Bi-monthly, or does it need to be monthly? Because like Nori said, it's a lot of work.
I don't know if this one is a lot of work, because here it's really each one give updates. I mean, we are not going to create, I mean, it's really each one giving a few minutes updates, right, about their work and updates and progress and news about them. Like Emurgo say, yeah, this month we are focusing on this in education, right? C4C say this month this is what we did. CNC, it's a quick update.
Okay, so then that could, because I'm just thinking, is this an in-person where everybody shows up at the Zoom? Do they send in a recording? Because if it's a recording, you know, a 3-minute recording, update recording, that's a great habit to get into. And then we just combine it in our 4th month. We also have the Way of Counsel that we've been doing too, which has been really cool. So do we?
Well, yeah, we keep doing that at the community meeting.
Right. So we're going to keep the 4 community meetings plus a monthly meeting update.
Yeah. And I think in addition to the updates, I think we should use that meeting opportunity to do something around the governance side of things. We should help make decisions or give recommendations or things like that to make that meeting actually useful. Like, yeah, I think updates.
The monthly meeting or the weekly one?
The monthly meeting, because that's the level where the organizations show up, not individuals.
Use the meeting. I think it's also a great idea. Meeting for governance.
because then that's the groups coming together and saying, this is what we need. This is our voice. This is what's important to us. You know, this is what the updates, this is what's going on. It is that circle, isn't it? You know, the smaller circles coming together into this bigger one where we start connecting. I love it because, you know, that's the biggest stress I have is like, you know, as an individual, I got to go to Project Catalyst, know everything about what's going on there. I got to go to Swarm, know everything that's going on there. And it's impossible for us each to do that. So
yeah, and we can use the forum to say, what's the most pressing issues? Who wants to participate in finding a solution, and then form a working committee based on who shows up, and they can bring it back to the next meeting. And then it's not like individuals that are kind of doing stuff. It could be like Gimbalabs and Wada decide they want to really focus on X, and they'll take it away and collaborate and then come back to the group and report, and other people can jump in. I think there's a really great opportunity here for us to really ramp up the collaboration through this mechanism.
This is what I was on my list. What I'm willing to do is top of the list is facilitate collaboration. This I can do. I don't want to promote everybody's proposal in Fund 10 and then go through that roller coaster of maybe getting funding or not. It's too hard for me to carry, but the facilitating collaboration, I love this.
Yeah, so the collaboration between the communities and then collaboration within the impact kind of projects and so on, right? So multi-community collaboration, collaboration within onboarding, and collaboration between projects happening already. Yeah, I love it. I mean, so that's, yeah.
I love multi-collaborative community. It's very, very important. It's very, very necessary for us, for the projects, for the proposals, for the other people, for the ingress for our community.
You know, and even that being said, Juanita, the updates can be in Spanish. YouTube gives us subtitles, right? Super easy, you know, and then we've got it in both languages, and we're making that connection. Because that's one of my frustrations is this language. And we have these projects going on in isolation because the language, at least it isolates me from knowing. So.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. What's your feeling about C4C kind of building this database of impact-driven projects and building the database of impact-driven networks? Like I can imagine the people that want can say, okay, why they're here, you know, what's their basically ikigai, right? And kind of start collecting that for everyone that is coming by. Every meeting we can start, whoever wants to fill this form about, you know, why he's here, can fill it, it takes 2 minutes, and then project can join also to the database, specifying the impact, yeah.
I think that data is super important. I don't think any one person, group, organization should collect it. I think we should come up with a metadata standard, and then each group that wants to can publish that to the blockchain. And then we create some simple scripts that can collect all that data and publish it. But anybody else can also collect it and publish it. So Lido Nation can show all the impact-related initiatives, or Swarm can do the same thing, and we can do the same thing on our website. But we can each use the data in any way we want. But we should find a way where we agree on a format and metadata to publish it to the chain as the way of doing it. And then it'll incentivize lots of people to say, oh, it's hard to publish to chain, so I'm going to create a tool. And if you pay me 2 ADA, I'll publish it on chain for you, just through this form that I've created, or whatever it is. It'll create a whole ecosystem of activity around this data. And then it's not on us to collect the data. It's on us to just help collaborate amongst all the groups that are interested in this data. And then everybody can publish their own data onto chain in any way they want.
Is it user-friendly though? You know,
it will be, because people will build the tools to make it user-friendly. That's not our responsibility.
Okay,
our responsibility is to make it decentralized.
Right. So like Lido Nation takes the information, they make it on the web.
Exactly. They can make it super simple.
Super simple, yes. the input is my issue. Is that user friendly? But like you said, somebody's going to say, okay, I can do this for you. You're giving your...
Yeah, the input we can start. The question is how to store it. And the question for the user, like if I'm thinking about myself, I need to put my data. I need to be aware that this data can be used by many people for different reasons, right? Mm-hmm. And because it's open and everyone can take it. Mm-hmm. So that could be a concern for a lot of people, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. But we can start with organizations, like with C4C and all that. And start
like
to
with
have
projects and organizations. Yeah.
Yeah.
So up till now, our database has been Google spreadsheet, right?
Yeah. And it always bugs me that so many different groups have databases of things like Cardano Cubed and Lido Nation and all these groups, and nobody has access to that data. It's private, and they publish it and they collect it, and they're duplicating all this work. We have the tools to open it up, make it decentralized, allow anybody to use the data or add to the data. We should really be thinking about how we use the decentralized principles that we're trying to promote ourselves when we start thinking about how we collect and use data. I think it's
like it, and I even like it more actually about people. I'm just thinking, I would love to maybe. I really would love to go deep on that now with you, because I think even about people, I mean, because the challenge is how we connect all the projects and how we connect all the great people doing great stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, and it's really, for me, kind of, it's very interesting focus for 2023.
And maybe that's where DIDs come in, and we can start looking at decentralized identity as a way of both protecting and sharing data.
So in the meantime, how do we collect it? Google form, Google spreadsheet, nothing. We don't do anything until everything's ready.
We work on the metadata stuff. And then I think, because unless we do that, we can't ever launch this. And then we can play ourselves and say, okay, we've published our own metadata. Everyone else join in. Or it could be done through a KIP. So we propose an organizational metadata standard as a KIP, and then hundreds of people will comment and feedback on that. And then...
So you're speaking a language I don't understand. KIP, metadata, I have a vague understanding of it. And it feels like, oh my God, I'm going to be stretched again into something else this year. But you know what? Bring it on. If it works, let's do it.
And that's the thing. As C4C, we probably don't have the technical gravity to actually implement this. So it will require collaboration with Gimbalabs, Lido Nation, and all these groups. And that's what we're good at, is connecting with groups and talking to them. So I think that should be our focus, is how do we offload this so that other groups get super excited to build this alongside us.
I mean, we have Little Fish should build something like that, right?
Yes, Little Fish would be an ideal group for that too, yeah.
So, because I know with the 100, 200 impact proposals last year, Lido Nation came along and says, okay, no problem. I can turn that into an API and then it's on the website. So we did collect that data in the Google Sheet, which was easy enough to do. You know, is there, yeah, I'm just thinking, how do we do it? How does this happen? You know, how do we get it done without having to learn too much? Because, you know, using GitHub, you know, and learning a whole new platform, if someone's doing it and willing to collect it, then that's great. If it's me,
yeah, but that's the thing. We're trying to get to a place where nobody collects it. Everybody just publishes it.
Okay. This is important. Yeah. And it's a shift in thinking too, right?
Yeah, that's the key point, is like nobody should have to collect. Or, yeah, we don't want centralized data collection. We want it decentralized.
Okay, let's work towards that. So in this database, you know, that's again, to say that again, we self-define what our impact is, and we self-define how we're measuring it and reporting it. So I love that, because then that is definitely decentralized. So I think we've decided on meetups. We're going to continue the Wednesday meetups, either monthly. Well, monthly does make sense. So we're going to have to pick a date and time for this monthly event for connecting the bigger groups.
And I would suggest maybe a little bit later in the day so that we can actually include East Asia, Australia, and New Zealand more easily. Because they've been lacking a voice, and I would love to, on the column of what should we start doing, is we should start including them more in things.
Mm-hmm. So what's the latest you can do, Yoram? UTC? Because then, you know, where's that spot kind of in the middle? It's either this side or this side.
Yeah, I think between 18 and 20 UTC generally will work for people in New Zealand. It's just like, how late does Europe want to stay up?
And work, like
and
maybe
work.
staying up is different than actually working before you go to bed. So
yeah.
Is 8 p.m. UTC getting kind of late for you, Yoram?
No, this is fine. I'm happy to do that.
Okay, so
I think for no, that's fine. For me, it's fine. Actually,
so
for the US, it's fine, and for Latin America, it's fine. Only some countries like Japan or stuff like that, but yeah, but Australia, it will be fine.
Yeah, Australia, Japan will be early in the morning. I think it'll be like 7 or 8, so not too early either. But
for me, it's good.
We know that time.
Mhm.
Okay, so next meetup, we're still doing more reflection, planning for 2023, or are we just going to jump in and start doing this? What do we want to do?
I think it's useful to take today's conversation and maybe present it to a larger group and get more feedback, and further refine it. But I think it's a good start. I like the direction.
And Nori,
and any feedback.
Would you do me a favor and set that up, like in the Telegram and the Discord? Because it's always my voice, you know, saying this. And I think that having your voice, you know, and saying this is what we've come up with, and, you know, this is what we're going forward, your feedback form, it'd just be nice.
Yeah, I can definitely do that for next week. I'll send something out on Monday.
Okay.
Yeah, and I wrote kind of some of the stuff here on the doc as well, Nori. I know you did the mirror. I just put it on the doc.
Okay.
So you share. Cole, what do you think? I know Caleb, Cole, Kate,
And
what
Keith.
do you think?
Cole, Caleb, and Keith.
Keith, yeah. How are you, Cole?
Okay. It's my first meeting, so I think it's a great idea to present projects twice a month or monthly. That would be good. Yeah.
I agree as well, and I think it will cause like a lot more participation for those meetups, and kind of like it will be cool to see the project highlights, and I think 2 a month is a great idea. Is that kind of what you guys were trying to do? Or 4 a month, was that 2?
Meetups will continue on Wednesdays with, you know, 15 minutes intro, half hour possibly for proposals, projects presenting themselves, or we connect depending on what happens during the meeting. And then another monthly meeting where we connect. We have these smaller groups that come together and we just update each other on everything that's going on related to impact. And then in that time, we end up with some action plans, like, you know, this group needs a tool for supply chain traceability. This group needs to figure out how to verify, you know, the tree planting, you know, where's the tools? And then we can come together and actually do some stuff this year. So
yeah, I think that's a really cool idea. And
did I capture that, you guys? Was that about, did I or miss anything?
Mhm.
Yeah, I think the only thing to add is something that you remarked, that in the monthly meeting, in the weekly meeting, in the end, we will have additional half an hour to kind of new people that want information or connect them or stuff like that. So that can be, not everyone have to participate, only new people or people that want info. Or, yeah.
True. We made Project Catalyst kind of the focus, with updates, but we can put that at the end if you need help. This is either where you go, or we'll hang out afterwards to give you specific help. I like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the focus is the key projects that come in to present every week, impact and so on.
Yeah. And I think doing 2 or 3 per month is good. And then leaving one for way of council is would be a good cadence. And then we just have a chance to talk as a community at least once a month about whatever's coming up.
Do we want to have the first meeting as a planning one? Like a community, or is that the way of council? Or maybe out of way of council should come the planning for the next month, shouldn't it?
Yeah, but are we still continuing like the Monday sprint planning kind of stuff?
We haven't decided yet.
Yeah, because if we're talking about planning, those are more natural places for that, because not everybody's interested in that level of participation. But
right.
But I think that's another thing I'd throw in for things that we started and should keep doing, is maybe continue with some of the sprint stuff so that we have on the back end like concrete goals and actions and things.
I'm not leaving sprint now that I'm into it. That's for sure, because it's very, very productive for getting stuff done and connecting with the group that's actually working. I absolutely love it. So
yeah, I think the Monday sprint to plan the week. I see a structure of potentially 3 meetings, not more, a week, like Monday sprint to start the week, Wednesday community meeting, and then Friday kind of summarize. And
could we do a Tuesday meeting instead of a Monday? Just because Mondays I really would like to not, but that's
yeah.
I can always listen in on the recording.
Yeah, like we could do Tuesday sprint planning, and then that'll make sure that we have at least a group together that talks about like, okay, tomorrow, do we have somebody signed up? If yes, just make sure they're coming. And if not, what do we do? And we can kind of adjust really fast.
And there'll be a group that wants to take on the event planning and the organizing, the database that we're talking about, because this is the stuff where you really get on the ground action happening is in the sprint. So Tuesday, we could still have enough time to do that, plan that. We just basically show up and pick what we're doing.
Yeah.
And then Wednesday is our meetup, and Friday is our reflections like today. And
yeah, and sprints are 2 weeks long, so we don't have to do all the heavy lifting every week. It's every other week for the planning stuff. Yeah, the rest would be like working sessions or focus on
right. So the first Tuesday we can plan on who's doing everything or doing what for the 2 weeks. We don't have to repeat that part. Yeah, exactly. I like this.
Yeah.
Okay, so we could do Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. I like it. Yoram, you good with that? Does that feel like your week will start enough?
I think it's good. Yeah.
Okay, all right. And then timing wise, are we going with 3 p.m. Tuesday for the sprint? Because
I think we have to because of Gimbalabs.
Right. And then 4 p.m. we're going on Wednesdays because of Catalyst starts probably at the 5 p.m.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
And I like the idea of keeping Wednesday to an hour.
Yeah, but then we will have half an hour again for support.
Well, I don't mind even staying too, right? Because I'm tending not to go to Project Catalyst to the town hall. and then others can fill me in on stuff that's important, or I watch the recording. So I can hang out longer on those days if need be. That's fine. And so then Fridays, same time, 4 p.m. UTC seems to work. Okay, we got our schedule done. Any other input? Cole, does that feel good? You guys have the other meetings.
I think that sounds good. I think that's perfect.
You know, I've tried to put the Let Us Meet out there because, you know, I often hear that people can't make it to the meetings. And then it's like, well, tell me what time you want to do it. But because of the void, it's what we're doing. So in this update, Nori, will you say that as well?
Yeah, I'm just taking a note of the new times right now.
Yeah, so Cole, this is a very good idea also, what you wrote there. And that can be kind of the onboarding in the last 30 minutes, basically, right?
Yeah, and we also have Spanish videos too, so we could do like a Spanish breakout where Daniel or Juanita is, and then like or whoever, and then we could do like an English breakout as well. And we're just finishing up those resources. The Blockchain Learning Center's been pretty busy, but there's like a what is blockchain video that we're kind of trying to turn into Spanish, and yeah, so we're just finishing that stuff up. But that will work really well.
Perfect.
Okay, we're wrapping it up. 3 minutes to go. Feels fairly productive. Cardano for Climate, as a group, our purpose is to promote self-defined impact. Is that the idea now?
It's to onboard, educate, connect, I think, or something like that. Looking at our strengths from last year, I feel those are the things that we did really well.
So onboard, educate, and connect has to have a related to, because you can educate about Indonesia.
Yeah.
So what defines us as this group?
Impact.
Impact. And decentralized as well. So, you know, maybe there's some sort of statement that comes out of this. Seems kind of scary to say self-defined impact, but do we just leave it as vague?
I say, yeah, let's think big. Blockchain impact group, right? Let's think big. We are the blockchain impact group.
But there's also this point where we're connecting real world impact to the Cardano blockchain, to blockchain. So that in our purpose, right?
Yeah, connect and onboard impact-driven project, and leaders.
Okay, this feels fairly productive.
To the blockchain, to the Cardano chain. Okay.
So, Nori, you're going to put that out to the community, still get feedback. How do we want to get feedback? Forum?
Meeting.
Show up at...
Yeah, I don't know if people engage with forums all that much, so I'd rather not put the effort in if it's not a used tool.
I've got 4 responses to the forum that I've been working on, and they're repeat. Mine and Boaz, and mine and Boaz. So it's like, you know what, that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And the form that we used to collect the impact proposals, Yoram and I used it last fund, you know, and we're the ones using it. So
yeah,
it is difficult. You want the feedback, but how do you collect it? So how do we get that feedback? Like, how do people give us feedback on this new plan, or the plan that we're...
I think we should just post the thread on all of our like Telegram and Discord, and then people can post things if they want. Like, people do engage on those channels. Yeah.
Good. And then just show up at the next meeting if you've got any red flags or stuff that you want to change or add, or jump in and help. Okay. Awesome.
So next meeting's Tuesday at 1500 UTC.
1500 UTC, and we will advertise that to the whole group, whole C4C group.
Yeah, we'll put it on all the channels.
Because we've been doing that as a working team, and it's been a closed one. But I think if we have the registration on Zoom, we should be okay. It feels good.
Yeah.
And then keep the working Telegram group as is, or do we just want to open it up more to the community? That's the other thing.
Yeah, we'll see who shows up, and I don't think, I don't feel an urgent need to decide that right now.
Okay, good. Awesome. All right. Anything else? Anybody?
Yeah, maybe just the last thing, maybe, Nori, if you also give again, in the link of the Miro, in the link of the document, just come in and add comments as well. Everyone can add, or IDs if you have any time. I think that will be important. Perfect.
And then Nori, myself, and Yoram are going to be interviewed by Juan from Innovatio on Monday, I believe.
Monday?
What time? Was it Monday or Tuesday?
Ah, by the way, with Peter, we didn't get all the videos yet, right?
Oh, there's work.
Should we follow up on Peter with the videos?
I believe we should.
Yeah.
Let's see, what was it? Tuesday. Tuesday is when we get interviewed by. So would that be 3, 4, 5 p.m. UTC or 6 p.m. UTC for Juan? What works?
I'm only available at 1600 for an hour and 1900 for an hour that day.
1900 UTC or
1600.
1600. You decide. 1600, isn't that Gimbalabs?
What Gimbalabs?
On Tuesday?
Oh, I thought you said Monday.
Sorry, Tuesday.
Yeah, I can't do Tuesday. Sorry.
Okay, you can't do Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm fully packed from 1500 to 20.
So it's Monday then. So it's 1900 would work for me, I think, on Monday. How about you, Yoram?
Yeah, should be fine.
Okay, I'll let Juan know, and then we'll figure out.
1900, yeah.
7 p.m. UTC Monday. I think I can do that.
On the 9th? Okay.
Monday, yeah. Okay, good. Anything else?
No, it's exciting to start the year. Need to start rolling. It's great to have all of you here. I mean, for me, it kind of was a working group session, and it's so great that, all of you joined. And Caleb, thank you also for joining, and obviously all the familiar other friends. So it gave a good push for us to, let's do it. Let's push it back for this year and bring each other energy.
Yes.
To do it, that we are not alone.
Very good. All right. Well, thank you all for coming and taking time out of your day. Keith, go ahead.
Yeah, did you want to talk about the food bank?
I'm going to just stop the recording and
okay.
Yeah, okay, so we're done.